As I excitedly slashed, blasted, wooed, looted, and delved my way through the stunning and enthralling world of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, I kept having one thought. Wait, BioWare made this? 2024 BioWare? With this game coming in the wake of the debacle that was Anthem, itself preceded by Dragon Age Inquisition and Mass Effect Andromeda, which were both merely alright in hindsight. I wasn't sure these former masters of role-playing Gamecraft could make a game like this anymore. I mean, I'm not someone to blast someone's opinion, but 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 in my defense, I don't think that is actually this person's opinion. That was a clip from the review from IGN, our favorite game review company, our favorite gaming, what do you want to call it, media company. They gave it a 9 out of 10. Now, I know the game's not out for the general public yet, but I've been watching a lot of some of the reviews that have come out, and I watched one that I think a lot of us have seen, because today I watched it yesterday, and today I saw Asmongold was doing his reaction to it. So I guess everyone's going to see it now. But basically, this guy was talking about that they were supposed to receive a review copy, and then BioWare, after seeing their initial reaction, BioWare seeing that they had some negatives at the end of their reaction, cut them off, just ghosted them completely. And he said that, well, the one thing that kind of got me, what this guy said, was that, oh, hey, they don't usually cut you off for not liking their game or thinking they're going to give a bad opinion. Now, I'm paraphrasing right, but it's basically the gist I got that he was saying. And he said, so this isn't usual that they cut us off because we said something negative about the game. Now, I don't do, I'm not obviously not Access Media. I'm just a guy with a freaking YouTube channel. I like to talk about games. But I'm pretty sure they've been doing that for a while. And for some reason, just with Dragon Age Veilguard, it's kind of exasperated, because it seems like BioWare really, really was selective about who they gave these review keys to, and kind of let it be known in the open, like, hey, you better talk good about this game. But I could see why. And that's because their releases have been few and far between, and nothing they've released has had a great reception. Right, since Dragon Age Inquisition in 2014, they've had Shadow Realms, Andromeda, which is we all know how that one went. Anthem, the Legendary Edition for Mass Effect, and then now is the Veilguard, right? And forgive me, I was actually going to say I'd never heard of Shadow Realms, but I just looked into it and it was canceled. So it's just Inquisition, Andromeda, and Anthem since 2014 for these guys. They have to be hurting. So I kind of can't blame them for being so guarded about these review codes. They got to make something off this game. However, again, the game isn't out, but everything that I thought was going to be wrong with this game, everyone else who I usually watch are saying is wrong. The writing is very, as I said before, soft fantasy, no sharp edges to it. The characters are extremely one-dimensional, or the way they put it, and this is something actually I didn't think about, they called them Pixar characters.
You find talking about dragons boring.
What? How? Who doesn't like dragons?
That snake's nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
And I saw some of the cutscenes they put out, and wow. Just wow. I saw one with Harding, and I remember her because she was the little halfling girl who was the scout for your Inquisitor. And the romance scene for her was it was awful. I mean, I'm telling you what, that was some. It did look like something out of a Pixar movie. I don't know how they dropped the ball like this. I'm actually starting to think that Dragon Age Veilguard is going to be worse than I thought it was going to be. I intend to try Veilguard, but I intend to borrow a copy from a friend, because I'm not gonna pay for Veilguard unless I like when I borrow it and it turns out to be pretty good. Like, oh wow, I'm okay. I can invest myself in this. I'm not gonna buy it. But I do want to try it just for the channel. I just want to give my own thoughts on it. Maybe just the introduction, maybe play a couple hours to see how it is. However, so far, it's looking pretty bad. Another thing they talked about was how repetitive the combat was. One guy said that it was worse than Inquisition. The combat could get repetitious in that, I won't lie. It got to a point in the game where I was kind of done grinding it out with the regular enemies, just kind of wanted to get to the end. And if it's worse than that, good grief. And they're saying also that the story is not even that great. A lot of things I've heard was that nothing happens really until the end. Most of the companion quests resolutions don't happen until the very end. So you're kind of just given this surge of content all at once. And kind of the consensus I got was that it got good when it did that. When it got to that point, it was entertaining and fun. However, it's how many hour game? 40 plus hours? That's ridiculous. I'm very interested to see how the general public is going to receive this game. It's going to be a disaster, guys. It's a train wreck. And I can't look away. Their target demographic is me. RPGs of all kinds are some of my favorite games of all time. And now I am less excited than I was for this than when I first saw the trailer. So hearing all the reviews really tells me that this is, I think lukewarm is too generous of a description for what I believe this experience is going to be, or this game is going to be. But I want to just touch briefly on how I think this happened. I was hearing a lot on how, they changed the name from Dreadwolf to Veilguard, supposedly because they wanted to focus more on the party that you're going to recruit than, I guess, Solus himself. And I think some people close to the project may have gotten too close, and they started writing the characters in ways that perhaps was something relevant to their life. From watching there was the Harding clip I saw, but there was a second one I saw of Bellara. I had to look up her name actually. For the lack of the better words, the Asian elf, and it's a scene of where your character, this guy's Rook walks in, and she's messing with some device, and she's under there saying, "Oh, steady breath, one more time. Oh, you'll do it." And I guess she fails at fixing it somehow, and she gets out and she starts whacking it, and she turns to Rook, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was only breaking things." And guys, it really did look like a scene from a Pixar movie. Honestly, sincerely. And from that scene alone, there was nothing I could attach to when watching it. Hindsight now, I'm certain this is the ending most people got, where you make the kid with Morgan to kill that dragon. I wanted to see what was going to happen, man. I was hyped for it. By the end of that, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And little did I know, 15 years later, we weren't going to get the resolutions to that story. And then Salt in the Wound, the game released 15 years later, part 4, doesn't even, it gives you 4 or 5 choices? And one of them is who you romanced? It's like, guys, what were you thinking? So, I can keep ranting here, but the game comes out, oh good grief, the game comes out tomorrow. Well, I'm going to secure a copy, just because I want to talk about it. Anyone else, I really strongly suggest you wait on this one. if not, just skip it all together, right? If you have nothing else to play, maybe. But guys, you know what? I'm gonna save it. I'm just saying, I'm happy at least that is one of the decisions you can make in Veilguard. Is what did the Inquisitor say about Solus? I am 100% picking. He needs to die. and if I do play it through, I truly 100% intend to kill that ball-headed elf. All right, guys. Until next time. Take care.
Fascinating.